Hello everyone, my name is David Paul, and today I will be joined by the next cover star. You maybe know him from the Twilight saga, where he starred alongside Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, but he is so much more than just a good-looking vampire. He is a director, a producer, and a huge advocate when it comes to mental health and self-care. Today, he'll be talking about his newest project, The Vanished. Here he is from Los Angeles, Peter Facinelli. Are you in Los Angeles right now?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Austria. I'm from Vienna, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. My family's from Austria. My family's from Trento,
Oh,
Italy.
yeah. Yeah, you're Italian, right? Or your
Yeah,
family is.
but it's right on the Austrian border.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
No,
you and I might be cousins.
we could be. So, what do you think is the most Italian thing about you?
Wow. Maybe the cooking.
The cooking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some good pasta or lasagna.
Some good risotto. But my mom cooks very northern Italian dishes
Oh, okay,
too,
got
like
it.
kind of like polenta. You like polenta?
Yes, polenta.
And like with like sauerkraut and sausages, like
Yeah, here, take all the sauerkraut.
yeah. So
Ah,
yeah, my mom's. They're both from northern Italy, so they cook northern Italian food.
yeah. Do you go there often at all?
The last time I was there was maybe 4 years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh,
I'd like to
okay.
go back. I wish I could travel more, but
I
right
mean,
now
we all
COVID.
do, right?
Yeah,
I guess we're all just stuck here right now for a bit. But
yeah,
like, yeah, speaking of quarantine, I heard crazy news that you lost 30 pounds in
yeah,
quarantine. Yeah,
yeah.
what was like your inspiration? Like, why did you want to lose all that weight?
I just had time to focus on myself. Usually, I'm
Mm,
so busy, like on the road. I didn't feel overweight.
yeah,
I just felt thicker
okay,
and a little heavier. So I was probably like 200 pounds, which isn't bad for somebody who's 6 feet,
yeah.
Um, but I dropped down to 170, and I feel much better. Like I just feel lighter. I feel better all around, more energy.
Okay.
So I just had the time, honestly. Before it was like when I'm constantly on the road and I'm shooting
Mm-hmm.
and I'm filming, it's like you unconsciously eat. So like
Yeah.
whenever I was hungry, if there was something in front of me, I would just eat it.
Mm,
And I never sat down to really consciously plan my meals before. But it's important. I think it's important.
it
And,
is.
and as you get older, your metabolism slows down. So, it's kind of, I tried to utilize the time that I had in quarantine and just kind of focus in on, I couldn't go out. So I kind of went in.
Yeah. But did you work with a trainer or did you do it all by yourself?
No, in the beginning, I couldn't see anybody in the beginning, and I really didn't have much equipment because
Oh.
I used to like see a trainer here and there or go to the gym here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly I did like yoga and stuff. But prior, and then when I was kind of stuck at home, I kind of found fun ways to work out. Like
Mm.
I tried to buy like a weight set, but they were all gone because everybody was buying them online, and so I couldn't even get like a weight training set. So I had a couple of dumbbells
Yeah.
that I would use, and then I bought some gymnastic rings that I tied to
Mm-hmm.
a tree, and I just kind of did like old school workouts. And I think the more fun that you make the workout,
Mm-hmm.
the more you'll do it, because then you're actually, whenever you feel like something's a chore, you're not going to want to do it, So,
Yeah.
like, I don't really love running. So, what I would do is I would go on the treadmill, and I bought this magnet, and I put a magnet on the back of my phone, and I kind of put my phone up on the treadmill through a magnet, and it would stick there. And then I could like do meditations and
Oh, that's
watch
nice. Yeah.
programs or listen to audiobooks. So it kind of distracted me from running. So I
Mm.
found myself being able to like multitask, and if I could focus on an audiobook or watching a TV show, the hour would go by and I wouldn't even realize I was on the treadmill.
Yeah. So what do you
So
want to
things
say
like
to
that.
people to find this motivation to work out every day?
I think, well, here's the thing. Like in the beginning, it's always one day I'll work out, one
Yeah.
day I'll do it, one day I'll do that.
And then you
So
feel great about yourself, but then
instead of making it one day, just turn it around and start with day one. So you start with, okay, this is the first day, and maybe I'm not going to run an hour right off the bat, and like, in the beginning, maybe you'll walk 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's day one. And then day two, maybe you try walking 20 minutes, or maybe if you even make it to 15 minutes again, that's an accomplishment. I find that like consistency is important.
Totally.
So, even if you're doing 10 minutes that day in the beginning, as long as you're doing it consistently, and then as you feel better, when you miss a day, you actually miss it. Like now, if I don't exercise for the day, that's when I feel bad. Whereas before, like, it was like, oh, I don't want to work out today, or I don't want to run today. So it's just a matter of doing it consistently to a point where it becomes a habit and becomes a part of you, and then you look forward to, like, getting that energy, because it's weird. You think that doing a workout or running or would make you tired, but it actually stirs up energy inside you, and it gives you more energy.
Oh, wow. Maybe I should try it at some point. But like, speaking of quarantine, because you're not only an actor, you're a producer, a director, and you're also writing. So like, did quarantine help you with your creativity, or?
Yeah, and I mean, I was very fortunate this past year during quarantine. I was able to actually get a movie off the ground that I produced.
Yeah.
Called The Unbreakable Boy. And that was not an easy thing to do when the whole entire industry is shut down. But I teamed up with Lionsgate and a company called Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I had the rights to this fantastic book, and everybody loved it, and the script was so wonderful. And we ended up being able to shoot the film in November. Okay. And we were so lucky and fortunate because we were very careful. We didn't have to shut down at all. Yeah. I think we were one of the few productions that didn't actually shut down because of COVID.
Is it a production you did with Zachary Levi?
Yeah, with Zach Levi. Yeah.
Oh, how was working with him?
I love Zach. He's a really great actor, good guy.
Yeah. Also,
I think you'll really like him in this film too. He plays the lead in the film, and he's very talented.
Oh, great! Can't wait to see it. But like, also, Megan Faye is in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
really great.
I met her like once in New York City, but like I don't think she remembers me. I just said hi. I like your show. So
yeah, she's a sweetheart, and they're so good together. Megan and Zach. Drew Powell is in it.
Yeah, amazing cast, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think we'll able to see it?
Probably, I think they're trying to get the first cut done by June, so probably the fall. I think end of the summer, fall this year. I think it should come out. I'm hopefully the theaters will be back, and it's supposed to have a wide release, and knock on wood that it does. Because I want as many people to see it as possible. It's a really good film.
Yeah, definitely.
Really heartwarming film.
Oh, I can't wait, and I miss going to the theater as well. Finally, like seeing those movies on a big
I bet
screen.
you miss theaters.
Yeah.
Are they open there?
No, like I don't know how it's like in Los Angeles right now, but like in Europe, we're in our third lockdown. So it's tough, not gonna lie. And working out at home can be stressful, or like just finding the motivation. I mean, it's winter in here, it's cold, so you don't really want to go outside. So it's tough, not gonna lie. But I hope everything will go away soon, and everything will.
I think it will. I have a good feeling that by summer it'll start to get a little better. The vaccines will start to get dispersed. And, summer's right around the corner, and this will all be a distant memory, and we'll say, "Wow, we lived through it." And
right.
Now's the time to be careful, because we're coming to the finish line.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and it's easy to get too relaxed or just get fatigued, but we're we got to get all of our strength together and muster through it.
Definitely. I mean, as long everyone is healthy, let's do it for everyone else. But like, speaking of your latest project, The Vanished, which came out like a few months ago on iTunes, right?
Yeah.
You also wrote it and directed it. So like, what was the moment when you realized, man, I really want to write this? So like, what was the process behind it?
Well, I've written other things that have gotten made.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular movie actually came from a road trip that I took with my family when my daughter was 5. I took this road trip on in an RV. You guys have RVs out there, right?
Yeah.
And so we went to this RV park. What do you call them in Austria? RVs? You call them recreational homes, like motor homes?
Yeah, we'll call it how do we call that?
Hausens, vegan.
Yeah. Wohnwagen. Wohnwagen. There you go.
Wohnwagen.
Yeah, it's like living car.
Yeah,
basically.
like a home car.
Yeah.
So I went on this RV trip, and it was this little park with like maybe 10 spots. It was really beautiful. When I went to go pay at the front desk, I heard some gunshots, and I said to the guy, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, that's just a prison. It's a couple of miles down the road. Every once in a while they do drills. So if you hear a few gunshots, that's normal. But if you hear more than like 4 or 5, then come to the front desk because maybe somebody escaped, you know?"
Yeah.
So I couldn't sleep all night long. I kept thinking, like, what would happen if somebody escaped from prison? What would happen if my daughter went missing? How would I find her in the middle of these woods? And it's so beautiful here. And what if something tragic happened in the middle of all this beauty? And so the seeds started to begin, to germinate for this film. And then I started to write it. I mean, I kind of live with a story for a while in my head before I write it. So maybe I might have lived with that story for like a year or 2 in my mind before I wrote it. But once I start writing, then it's very quick. Like I wrote that script in 3 weeks.
Wow.
But it lives in my head for a while. Like it has to like grow and until the point where I can't, think about it anymore, and then I have to kind of let it out, So that's where that one came from. But I enjoy writing. I love storytelling. So being a writer is part of storytelling. Being an actor is a part of storytelling, and directing is, part of all storytelling.
So like, because I'm a huge movie geek, so you wrote the script, and what was the next step?
The next step was trying to get financing, which that's always the most difficult part, So I think it took me like a year or 2 to kind of think of the story. It took me about 3 weeks to write it, and it took me about maybe 6 or 7 years to get the money for it,
Right.
Because you'll have it like partially set up and you have some money, and then something will fall apart, or I'll get busy and I'll do an acting movie here, and then all of a sudden like somebody else falls out, and then you have to recast, and then you have to try to get the money again. And so it's a process, and it's all timing, honestly. Like the timing just came together. At one point when I wrote it, I thought maybe I would play the lead in it, and somebody else would direct it. But after I directed my first film, Breaking and Exiting, really thought this would be a fun movie to do as my second film as a director. And I didn't want to take on too much, and it's very difficult to direct and be in front of the camera. There's a lot. I don't know how people do that, because there's so much going on behind the camera.
Right.
And you have to focus so much. Even I played a role in The Vanished, and the small role that I had, every time I had to get in front of the camera, my mind was like in 10 million places. Like I'm trying to say lines, I'm trying to figure out if I'm in frame, I'm trying to like make sure the other actors are good.
That's crazy.
Sure the lighting is right. All this is going on in my mind as I'm saying the lines. So it's tough. I don't know how people do the lead and direct, but maybe I'll grow to that one day. But for now, I'm happy doing, either directing or playing like a small part in directing, or.
So this is like a lane. Acting. Is this like a lane you would like to go forward, like more directing?
I think for me, again, it's all part of storytelling, right? So I love the process of storytelling. So with The Unbreakable Boy, for example, I found this book and I thought, what a great story, but I didn't quite feel right for the lead role. So we cast Zach Levi in the lead role, and then I played a small role just for fun, So that one I more produced than directed or acted in. It was my main focus on that was getting it made. And so it depends on the project. Some projects I'll act in, and I'll play the lead, and sometimes I'll act in it, and sometimes I'll direct it, and sometimes I'll produce it. But it's all about like what serves the greater good of the story.
Yeah, totally. But like speaking of another topic, because recently, I mean last year, you posted a shirtless picture of yourself, but which got a lot of attention. But it was for a greater cause because you wanted to bring more awareness to prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And like I read that some of your family members are survivors from that. So how was it like shine a light on this important cause? I mean, especially as men, I mean, we have like Movember, but like I feel like men especially still don't take it as seriously. So what would you like to say to that?
Yeah, I was really proud to be a part of that because my dad had prostate cancer and my uncle had prostate cancer. It's something that's like kind of not really talked about. It's kind of embarrassing to talk about for guys, and you know, guys don't really talk about their health all that often. But I think it's important. I think things are changing, and I think men are starting to get more conscious about their health. You know, up until like maybe a couple of weeks ago, I would wash my face with like a bar of soap. You know, I never really used like skincare products.
Yeah.
And then I found this little spa place, and they showed me like, oh, these are creams for your face you could use, and like this is a good face wash. And I think with guys, if you show them something and how to do it, they'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
But if they don't know, then they're not going to look into it. So it's like, it's important to like, just bring that health consciousness to men, and bringing awareness to subjects like that, or like, hey, you know, taking care of your body is a good thing, you know, and important. And taking care of your skin on your face is important, and you know, taking care of yourself mentally.
Yeah, mentally, definitely.
And you know, prostate is something that you should check, and so just being able to bring awareness to that and try to get that message out there is, I think, for me, is important.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, because you know, I'm 23. And I grew up with Twilight in school. I mean, like everyone was reading the book, and you know, everyone was talking about that. It was, you know, a huge wave. Like I remember like going to school and everyone was talking about it. So I just wanted to ask you, I bet you're like sick of hearing that question, but like how was it a part to be of this like huge franchise?
You know, I'm never tired of talking about it because it was such a big part of my career, and like I've done so many other things, but like Twilight is always going to be very important to me in my career because it was a big chunk of my life. I mean, I spent 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, maybe six, shooting these films, and you know, the wave of popularity that these films had, you know, it's kind of it's what an actor hopes, is to be a part of something that reaches a mass public that you can actually have people from all over the world enjoy. You know? So for me, you know, walking through Thailand one time and being recognized in Thailand is really cool because you're able to engage with people from all over the world, and they're all bonded by this one experience. You know, so even for you, everybody was talking about it, and I'm sure you made friends through it, and I'm sure you shared experiences, and those are memories that you'll always have, and so I appreciate that, and so for me, I appreciate the fans, the fandom, I appreciate the films, I appreciate the platform to be able to, like, you know, use that platform to go on and talk about things like prostate cancer, and also it was a part of my career. I've worked for almost 26, 27 years now, and I've done multiple different things. But, you know, Twilight was a big part of that. So I'm proud of it. I'm proud of that franchise.
Do you miss it sometimes?
Yeah, I do. I miss the cast. I mean, we talk here and there, but it's always, everybody's so busy and they've all kind of gone off to do other things. So like, but they'll always be family to me. Like whenever I get a text from them, it's like the sign of a good friend or somebody in your family is like, maybe I don't talk to my sister for like, a couple of weeks, or maybe a cousin I might not see for like 4 months, but when you see them, it's like you saw them yesterday.
Right.
And that's how it is with that cast. Like if I see them, it's like I saw them yesterday. There's no weird, awkward, like, oh, how are you? It's like a big hug, and it's like no time has passed, because I feel like we bonded and we became this little family on that film.
Yeah, like looking back at the first movie, like, did you think it would like blow up the way it did?
No, I mean, I think when we shot the first film, it was, it was a small little indie what we were doing, and I don't think anybody had any idea that it was going to be that big. I think we were just hoping that it was big enough that maybe we could shoot the second film,
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then I remember after we had filmed the movie, I was in Hawaii on vacation, and some like teenagers came up to me and they had the Twilight books, and they were like, "Hey, you're playing Carlisle, aren't you?" And I was like, the movie hadn't even come out yet, and I didn't.
Crazy.
Like, how do they know,
Yeah.
And then it just kind of kept growing from there, and then the premieres were always so much fun to go to, and fans would tent out, and it was really, really special.
Nice. So the Unbreakable Boy is next, right? So
Unbreakable Boy comes out next. I have a couple of other films that are coming out.
Can you tease a little bit about your upcoming projects?
Yeah, there's one called 13 Minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about I play a weatherman. It's about a tornado that comes through this town and kind of wipes out this town in like 13 minutes, and the devastation that it leaves. It kind of follows all these different families and how the impact that this tornado had on these families, because tornadoes in Middle America, they rip through these towns, and like your life changes that fast.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one. Actually, Anne Heche is in that too.
Oh, cool.
She acts in one, yeah.
Yeah.
And Anne was in The Vanished that I directed, and she's a very good actress. But I didn't have any scenes with her because our stuff was separate.
Oh, okay.
And then there's another film called The Ravine.
Mm-hmm.
that I filmed, and that's based on a novel, and it's really about forgiveness. It's about a man who kind of loses it one night and kind of kills his family,
Mm-hmm.
and then his best friend is left with the devastation of his best friend having kind of got off the edge, and
Wow.
and he wasn't a bad man. He just did that. He just snapped one day, and so when you're left with this best friend who did that, like, how do you move on with your life, and what messages come from that, like,
Yeah.
So I think it's really a movie about forgiveness, and the most despite the most horrible acts,
Mhm.
to find forgiveness. So that's a good one that's coming out. And then I have a film that I'm shooting in February that I'm acting in called Onto the Sun. Harvey Keitel is in that, which I'm really
Wow.
excited. I'm a big Harvey Keitel fan, so I'm
Yeah.
excited that he's in that.
Wow. So many great things coming up, right?
Yeah. So I've been keeping busy.
Yeah.
Even during COVID, I try to keep busy and make movies and tell good stories.
That's crazy. I mean, because you did a lot of film and you were also in Glee, did you ever like consider go like on stage, like Broadway or something? Or did you like?
Well, I studied acting. I started at NYU, and at NYU we did a lot of stage work.
Mhm.
But I've just always done mostly film and television. But I'm not opposed to it. I think one day it'd be fun to do a play on Broadway.
Yeah.
But right now Broadway is kind of closed. So
Oh yeah. Everything is in the future.
It's hard enough right now doing movies and
Yeah.
hopefully one day soon we'll be
And
back.
Go back
theaters.
to New York and go to the
Mhm.
theater. Yeah. Oh man. That's great. But like, I can't wait to see all your movies soon.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, it was such a pleasure to have you on our magazine cover for Louis. And
Oh, my pleasure. It was so much fun, and I feel like we might be related. We should put on some
right?
lederhosen and do some yodeling and eat some
I'm
pasta.
ready, like some beer and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
the next time you're in Italy, just let's meet at the border.
My mom used to dress me in lederhosen when I
Oh,
was a kid.
really?
Yeah.
Just for fun, or?
Well, it's part of the northern Italian. It's like northern Italian. It's right on the Austrian border
yeah.
where my mom and dad's town is from. So it's
Oh,
part of their
that's
culture.
sweet. Yeah. No, if you next time you're here, we all get lederhosen and beer and just do it the Austrian-Italian way.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Definitely. It was so good to talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Have a good day in Los
You too.
Angeles.
Take care.
See each other soon. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.